This is episode number 14 of Going Fishing with Brett Raymer from Tanked, and what a setup we have here. First off, Brett, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, man. 14 episodes. That's a long time. Lucky number 14.
Yeah.
This is huge. And there's Agnes. And Agnes, we're all at different locations right now. Agnes has got a restaurant. She's got wine. Who knows where this episode is going to go today?
Yes, wine. I have a little bit of wine.
Agnes even has a special guest with her today.
I have a very special guest with me today. This is my really good friend, Annie Black. I knew her. I met her 20 years ago in beauty school. We both went to beauty school together and went our separate ways. And she's in real estate, doing a lot of things for our community. And so we are sitting here having some dinner, talking real estate in life.
There you go. Nice.
I love it. Well, today we're going to break down season 9, episode number 5, Jeff Dunham's Tank for Dummies. This aired June 26, 2015. And the reason we're doing this, because in last week's episode, we started talking about the ratings. And according to Wikipedia, this episode had 1.04 million viewers. This is Wikipedia, wow. But that is a lot of viewers. That's one of your highest viewed shows. What made this episode so special that brought in that many people to watch it?
Man, it was for a lot of dummies.
I knew you were going to say that.
You didn't know. No, but honestly, at the time when we did this, let's keep in mind, 2015, Jeff Dunham was, I think, the most popular comedian, maybe, out there. I mean, he's done more stuff, and his videos have gotten more, hits than everybody combined. Like, he's just tremendous. And at that time, he was like at his peak. He was in Vegas. He was, all over the place. And I just think with, him being that way and us being as popular at our peak, I think that it kind of peaked.
It was the perfect marriage. So who reaches out? Is this one where Jeff Dunham is reaching out to you guys? At the time, he still had a show in Las Vegas. He had his house in LA. Was he reaching out to you, or did you guys reach out to Jeff for this one?
No, I think that, at this point, if I remember correctly, they were doing, we were looking for big celebrities at the time. The show was really popular and they had put it out there, and somebody had mentioned that, Jeff Dunham was a fan of the show. A lot of these guys, what happened is they would get their agents or people that would, get these press releases or these call outs, emails, whatever they were, would wind up telling people, hey, we're looking for somebody. They're like, oh, I love that show. My kids love that show. Yeah, we want to be on that show. Of course we want to be on it. It's amazing. I have a great place for an aquarium. They've already picked it out in their mind already, that they've already watched the show, and they're like, oh, we do, how good would one over here look? How good would one over there look? So I think he was one of those guys that we reached out to him, and he had already been watching the show and already had some ideas.
So when you go to Jeff's house, I mean, his house, when you guys fly out there, and this episode is all about Jeff Dunham building a tank in his house. When you guys go to his house for the first time, his house has some freaky vibes. He's got that real life Frankenstein mannequin at the bar, which is so freaky.
Well, he's got a
have you guys ever noticed anything odd in someone's house? You're walking through Jeff Dunham's house. What's like the craziest thing you've seen in a celebrity's house or just a regular client's home?
Well, it was good. You got something, Agnes?
Oh, I'm thinking, because I've seen a lot of houses.
Lean forward so we can hear you.
I've seen a lot of houses, so I'm trying to think of.
I got something pretty funny that we might as well touch base on it now, because obviously he's going to be on our show in not too long. I went to Dwight Howard's house, and in Dwight Howard's house, he had a Lego head of himself with an Ellen jersey that was sitting in his $5 million house on his foyer table. When you walk right in, the first thing you see is this Lego head. And then that was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Well, move on to, we'll talk about Dwight's episode, but I happened to do a prank in that episode that was literally viewed over 100 million times combined.
What was your prank?
No, I can't. We got to wait for the Dwight episode.
I wanted to say it, but I'm like, no, I'm not.
No, we can't spoil it. But that's one of the craziest things I've seen has been a Lego head of Dwight himself on the foyer table.
Well,
I'm trying to think the craziest thing I've seen. I don't know. What about you, JC? You was
I'm talking about on the show itself. I'm not talking about any real estate dealings, Agnes. I'm talking about on the show itself with the celebrities and clients that you've worked with walking in.
Okay. well, not the craziest. I thought it was the coolest.
Yeah, let's find out about some of the crazy stuff you've had in real estate, Agnes. Sure.
This is good. This is selling real estate with Agnes.
Yeah,
from
why
Tanks.
not? Live from
No, the
a
only
restaurant in somewhere with a bottle of wine is Agnes.
Stop. The only reason I'm saying
You're
this is
just
because
jealous.
there's real estate stuff going on back there right now. So there's just a lot happening. No, what
The
I'm
wheel
saying,
and deal.
what mine was when we walked into Nick Carter's and they had the tub set up for Lauren's natural birth. Now I know about all that stuff, but it was already that the
Lean
tub,
forward.
because they brought us upstairs. Remember this, Brett? They brought us upstairs.
I wasn't there, remember?
Oh, Brett wasn't there for this one, but I thought it was really cool because they brought us upstairs and to show us the house and just give us a little tour of the house. And the tub was set up because she was about to go into labor. So I love that we got to experience that.
Yeah, that's definitely something unique to see.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah,
unique. How many
seen some cool
celebrities
stuff.
will let you in their house and let you see that?
Yeah, that's a peek into real life. Well, Jeff Dunham is married with kids. Who decides who's going to be on the show? We don't see his family. We don't see his kids. Is that a call that Jeff makes? Like, listen, I want you guys to do this tank, but it's just going to be me. It's not going to be my family, or the producers making that call saying, we just want Jeff. We don't want the kids.
So I think that, the kids, I think they were really young, his kids, if I remember correctly. I think at the time, I think they have twins, right? If I remember correctly. And
I think so. I know he had kids. Yeah, they were young.
Yeah, and I think they were super young. And I think that it just didn't make sense to have the super really young ones on the show at the time. I think it was just more so wanted to focus on Jeff Dunham, obviously. And I think sometimes people don't want their families in it. You know what I mean? I don't remember that situation, but there were times that some of these celebrities just didn't want to have their kids or their families put on television, et cetera, but they didn't mind themselves, but they just didn't want to put any of their kids in that position.
Right. And that's why, yeah, it's because not everyone wants their kids to be on TV.
And be seen by a million people.
I had my kids on every episode. Agnes, Wade, Heather.
Well, speaking of kids, there's a great scene where Jeff flies into Las Vegas to check on everything, and you're walking through the office, and you point out how your dad, the general, looks just like one of Jeff's dummies, Walter. I mean, the resemblance is insane. Was that something that just came naturally, or did you kind of plan that ahead of time?
No, a lot of the jokes on the show just came off the cuff.
They're natural, yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty good at putting things together. 1 and 1, usually makes 3.
First of all,
I make 2.5. But no.
Here it is. Brett thinks he's a comedian. Brett is a comedian. He's funny.
Okay, thank you.
Quick-witted. He's quick-witted. I got to give you that. You are quick-witted. So it totally flows. I get it.
Yeah, I like the funny thing about what I did is what I loved about the show is I was the star of the show and they were on my show. So I was able to do what I got to do. And if they didn't like it, don't be on my show.
That's true. And you know what? He wanted to have his own comedy show. JC.
I did. That was next stand-up. I really wanted to do stand-up.
He did.
I could see it. I could see you doing stand-up.
I would really, you know what? I might, you never know. Like I said, I got a couple of things in the works, but stand-up is still, I have actually some stuff that I've written that I had a book that I started writing. And I started, every time I would just have something funny, I'm like, oh, jot that down. I just start jotting stuff down. And that's kind of, you tell jokes about your family, about your girlfriend, your sisters, your brothers, your workers. And boy, let me tell you, I got jokes for days.
If you have a joke about me, he does have a lot of jokes. He does.
That's a whole special. During your time on the show, you see this happen a lot where, a star from one reality show gets cast to be on like Survivor or Dancing with the Stars, or did you guys have any offers to do other shows while you were doing Tanked?
Yeah, the problem is that we were so busy doing what we were doing that it was really difficult for us to do any other shows.
I want to do Dancing with the Stars. I can dance.
You can dance.
Like, did they reach out? Did they reach out to you? Because I would think at the height of Tanked and Dancing with the Stars would be a perfect crossover. Did they ever reach out to you?
Yeah, dude, you see my legs and my bow legs. I can't dance.
I was talking about Agnes.
We wouldn't have even have time for anything like that. We wouldn't, because it's so time consuming that we wouldn't have had time. Agnes
got a phone call from the local dance crew in Vegas to come read a story to.
Nevada Reading Week.
No, but what we did do, JC, is we went and Heather and I did go read to the kids for like reading week and stuff like that. We would do that.
Yeah, they do stuff like that, local stuff. We would do the big stuff. The only big things that Wade and I really, really did that was absolutely amazing was we got to be on the Tonight Show. And we got to be
Jay Leno.
we did Jimmy Kimmel and we did Jay Leno. I got to be on.
Yes.
You Jimmy Fallon. And
Jimmy Fallon. Yeah. I don't like Jimmy Kimmel.
Well, don't worry, because I'm working on getting the actual copy of that episode, and that'll be a live watch along because I want to break down your appearance on the Tonight Show, because going on the Tonight Show is legendary.
I got to sit next to Owen Wilson.
Yes, and I love Owen Wilson too.
And Jay Leno called me the Rock Jr.
He did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Called me the Rock Jr.
What did he call Wade?
Rock Senior.
He called Mall Cop.
Paul Blart. Paul Blart.
Doesn't Wade look like
Kevin James? Kevin
James.
Yeah, I can see it.
Kevin James.
Yes.
People have come over to me and go, dude, that's Kevin James, right? I'm like, no, that's the guy from Tank. They're like, oh yeah, I thought I saw him on TV.
Yes, absolutely.
So funny.
Around this time that the episode aired, Brett, you did an interview and you said you guys do about 200 projects per year. Whose job was it to field all these calls and oversee all these builds? Because you guys are focused on the show, but you're still doing business. Whose job was that?
So Agnes did a lot of the pool panel work and a lot of the aquarium and zoo work. She took a lot of she didn't take actually the calls. We had like sales reps. Agnes was more of an estimator and project management organizer. She handled everything from she got the project going, made sure the material was ordered, make sure that it was, on time, make sure that the logistics of how everybody was getting to and from the job. And then she put pricing together. She knew how to do all that. So she didn't really field a lot of calls. Once in a while, she would take a call. She really didn't like the sales game. Then Dennis would field calls. We had myself, which still would take calls even on the road. We had Jeff, we had Doc. We had a bunch of sales guys, that would take calls. But a lot of those projects, were a lot of call-ins because the show was, we didn't have to search for business. The show put us in, 190 countries, and we were able to just literally, thankfully, have the phones just ring. A lot of emails, a lot of quotes. People didn't want to call as much because they just were able to go online and fill out like a form. And it had a lot of anonymity, whatever, you know what I mean? The word I'm looking for. Whatever, yeah, good try too.
Anonymous?
No, you know what I mean. Yeah, we could say that.
Anonymity.
Anonymity,
Oh,
right.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, they were able to go on the email and be that way and basically put in, whatever size they wanted, and we would give back a price. They never had to really answer. You try to follow up. But like I said, we all did that.
In this episode, you and Wade head out to LA to pick out the fish, not Agnes and Heather. At what point did the flip come where you guys stopped going out and picking the fish, and it became Agnes and Heather's thing to go out there and pick the client's fish?
Yeah, as soon as I was complaining, I got to the point where, I have bad knees, and I was like, season 4, okay, I can do whatever I want now. They need me now. I don't need them. So I was like, yeah, guys, we need to cut the fish through. Agnes and Heather need to take the sweat, blood, and tears. I'm done with this. I'm done with this nonsense. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, the girls will be great at it. Just send them. So they sent the girls, and the girls loved it. And, because they never really got a chance to leave as much as we did. So this gave them time to travel and do things. My sister always wanted to be part of this, that part of it. She wanted to be on as much as she could. So Agnes really didn't care. Like if she was on, she was on. She was not on, she's not on. But then that was just the fun part because it literally took so much stress off of me because I hated going there.
It would free your time up to do other things, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was a whole day. Literally, they shoot 3-4 episodes in one full day, and it was just a grueling day. It was like 2 days worth of hurt. What happened to
the dummy?
Wait,
from that. I set it up. You knock it out.
Pitch them another one. You should know this, Jason, by now.
I threw it up there. What happened to the dummy that you were using in the episode?
Which one?
Man, I don't know. I think he got up and walked away. I have no idea. I don't know. Someone took him. Someone got a hand on him. Someone got a hand on him.
I can't deal with you. Stop.
All right.
The dummy. Have you been drinking? What is your deal? You been drinking?
What
No.
happened? I didn't hear what?
No,
Jimmy,
I just want to know if you're drunk.
No, not at all. I'm straight as an arrow. Straight as an arrow. I'm having fun tonight. You know, I got to leave the restaurant actually early tonight because of the podcast. I've been staying like till 9 o'clock every night. So today was an easy day for me. So I got a little extra energy.
Good. Yeah.
Well,
Go ahead.
these
Sorry.
late night, no, you're fine. These late night recordings bring out different energy. I love it. I noticed in an old Facebook post that fans of the show were not fans of you guys doing one build per episode. It looked like a lot of fans like the 2 builds. Did you get a lot of pushback when you made that transition to just focusing on 1 build per episode?
No, not for me. No, I'm just saying it was one less place we had to go. You know, I was like that. It filled the episode. What happened is it was getting to be, honestly, it was getting to be a lot, right?
Yeah.
Traveling to 2 installs, putting all that together. They had so much footage from 1 install in 1 episode. I kept saying to them, guys, this is once we transition to the celebrities, if that's when you see the big celebrities, we started getting full episodes like Tracy Morgan, Shaq, you know, because why would you put anybody in with those guys? They're monsters, celebrities themselves. You put them with us for a full hour and you get an amazing show. The fans, like, you know, the builds, the aquarium people that love to see the building aspect of it, they were the ones that wanted to do the 2 builds. But to me, I was sold because it was so much less traveling, so much less filming. We were able to knock out more episodes without having a lot of headaches. It was really good for sure. But you know, what's really funny is Jeff Dunham really got mad when we called them dummies.
Yeah.
He did?
Like, he was mad. He was seriously mad. He's like, no, they're not dummies.
Oh,
like,
yes.
He called them puppets.
His puppets, yes. His
Puppets.
Peanut, Ahmed, and what was the other one?
Walter.
Yeah, Walter.
Walter, that's right.
But he literally got pissed. Like, he was pissed.
Because that's his routine. He doesn't call them dummies, and I'm still referring to them as dummies here in the podcast. But yeah, doesn't he call them characters?
Yeah, characters or something. But we were calling them dummies the whole time. I couldn't stop. I was like, these dummies. I just couldn't stop doing it. I was thinking about Lamont Sanford was coming back. You big dummy.
In this episode, I mean, he's very happy with the install. He's satisfied with what you guys put in the tank. You put the characters in the tank. You put that chandelier in the tank. But while the install is taking place, I mean, he's doing it in a loving way. But Jeff is kind of having some fun with you guys, picking on you guys, getting in your way. Was there ever a celebrity that was super difficult to deal with when you were doing an install, maybe overseeing things or wanting to get their hands on everything you guys were doing?
You know, I mean,
really like OCD.
I mean, Johnny Damon.
Yeah.
Johnny Damon didn't like when we were screwing with his walls. I mean, you remember that in that episode? I could remember that. But I mean, I don't really remember. I mean, it might have been 1 or 2 episodes where somebody came down and we made a lot of noise, or we were doing something they weren't happy with. I mean, you know, you're not going to please everybody all the time, and they don't know what to expect, right? They don't know, like, if we're putting stuff in their garage and, you know, the aquarium's in your living room, we have to get the piping and the plumbing somehow to your garage. And if it has to go through your wall, we got to make a hole in it. It's not going to miraculously, you know, morph through the wall.
Yeah.
So the long story short is that, you know, production didn't really like inform some of these people purposely so that they could get real reactions, right? They're like, hey, Brett's screwing up your wall right now, and I don't know if that's probably the best thing. And they come down and be like, what are you doing? I'm going to be like, what do you mean, what am I doing? I'm putting a hole in to get this, that, and that. Oh, okay, you know, and they wanted to get real reactions. They were really big on getting real stuff out of everybody. That's why the practical jokes, everybody knew what was going on except for the person getting pranked.
Mm-hmm.
So the person getting pranked has that real reaction. Funny.
So at the end of the episode, your dummy ends up in Wade's snake pit. So you had no idea that was happening?
I had no idea. They took my dummy, they mini Brett, they took him and they were torturing that dude. They were torturing him. They just, you know what it is? It was kind of like the voodoo doll. They thought every time they put it would be like a twist of his arm would be like a twist of my arm.
Yeah,
and they loved it. It was like,
I love it. JC, I have to ask about your piece behind you because I can't stop staring at it. I love it.
Right,
I love it. It's making me laugh because yes, that's exciting.
there you go. Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
My wife works from home, and I'm down in her office here at the house. So Well, you guys have anything else? I think it was great. I mean, watching the episode and just your interaction with Jeff Dunham. He's a fun guy. He's a funny guy, and I can see why this episode had over 1 million viewers. It was a fun one to watch and a fun one to break down with you guys. Anything else you want to add?
But do you ever wonder about people that play with dummies? Like, I mean, how did that start? Do you just like, are you talk to yourself? You talk to like your pet, your friend, your imaginary friend? Do you like get your G.I. Joe doll and sit there and go, like, I mean,
what's the question again?
no, I'm saying, like, did you ever think about like how like these people get started? Like, what makes you think about, being a ventriloquist? Did you like have an imaginary friend growing up?
Yeah, we all had imaginary friends growing up, didn't you?
No.
I mean,
You did, right? I know you did.
No, we
You
always
did. Agnes, it's all making sense now. It's all making sense. $1 and cents. It's all making sense.
No, Annie, did you have dolls? You play with dolls. You would create like imaginary scenes. You had play stories. JC, you know exactly what I'm talking about because JC.
Did you ever stick your hand up a doll's ass? Did you ever stick your hand up a doll's ass? Yes or no?
JC's very creative. JC,
I had an imaginary friend growing up. I did.
See, I knew it.
I did, yeah. His name was Mook Mook. Yeah.
I love it. I think you're creative.
I don't know how. Yeah, I've talked about him on the radio show. I miss him. I want him to call into the radio show one day.
What happened? He passed away? Where is he?
I don't know. I think he ran off. I think he got sick and tired of me. But here's the funny thing, and you pointed this out, Brett, at one point. Jeff Dunham talks about doing radio interviews. I always thought it was funny when a ventriloquist wanted to come on the radio. The whole thing of a ventriloquist is seeing the lips not moving. On the radio, you don't have to. You can. Everyone's a ventriloquist on the radio.
Right.
Right.
Everyone.
Yes. So now, JC, yeah. So everyone's a ventriloquist. So yes, I'm trying to put a long day.
That was you know what? Regardless, that was a fun episode. That was a fun episode. We had a lot more dummies than Jeff's dummies on that episode, but it was great.
I love it. Well, that should do it then for episode number 14.
No, it's not over yet. Agnes isn't done. Hold on.
I'm not done. Hold on. I want to say, because I was telling Annie about this, I really appreciate that I know why you did this, because we all need a little bit of comedy relief right now. And I love that how you're so creative that you set it up this way. So I want to say thank you for that. Because it's been, yes, you. And Brett, you as well. Brett,
high five.
Brett, high five to you, and high five to JC, and high five Annie for being here. Thank you.
Honestly, I look forward to our 30-minute talks every week. I enjoy going back through, and yeah, I want to bring on some more guests soon. I think we're going to start making some moves. Right, we got Dwight Howard that's going to come up soon, and Howie Mandel's going to promise to be on, and DJ Ashba. So I just want to let everybody know to look forward. We're going to have some amazing guests come soon. But yes, the last 14 weeks have been awesome, JC. Yes. I just had a great time. I love coming on the podcast. I love talking with you guys. It's great. So I look forward to next week.
Yes, me too.
It's a blast. All right, that'll officially do it. My battery's about to die on my computer. That'll officially do it for episode number 14 of Going Fishing with Brett Raymer from Tanked.
Bye, guys.